Hey everybody, just getting ready to do my Sunday weekly maintenance. Um, Spent probably about 6 hours yesterday working on the tank. Um, I got a really good deal on the Eheim 2080 XL. I think it's 12,000 XL canister filter. And I don't know if you can see it here. A little dark. It's got probably twice the amount of media as my old canister filter. My old one was a Eheim Professional 3. Can't really remember the number right now. I think it was a 2075. It's got the 4 baskets in it. The reason I am changing filters and going up to a bigger filter, one, I just ran across a real good deal on it, but I've been wanting to up the filtration on this 75 gallon. As you can see, I still have a little bit of blackbeard growing on the substrate. The plants, really nothing. Sorry about the algae on the glass. Like I said, today's cleaning day. But the plants look great. There's nothing on it. It's just a little still on the substrate. Basically anywhere there's a bare spot, I have it growing. And I do get it on the boost that I've got planted here. I've never planted boost before. This is my first time. I've had it in here several months, and if you keep up with my videos, I actually, if you watched the last one, I went back to a T5hos fixture, my original fixture. I was running 2 of the Fluval 2.0 fresh and plant fixtures, and I just wanted to go to the newest thing, get on the LED bandwagon. They were supposed to last 20 years before I had to worry about anything, whereas these I have to change bulbs out once a year. It's a 4 bulb fixture. I'm always trying to improve upon the aquarium and get the newest, latest, whatever, and try it out. So I mean, hey, I can turn around and sell these to somebody else who's got more of a little lower light setup, and they'll run great. But for the plants I've got and the growth I'm used to and like, I've got to stay with the T5hos. Anyway, back to the filtration. I wanted to change out the filtration and go with a larger unit. Originally, I had it in this side of the cabinet. The shelf was out of there, and the shelf was in this center cabinet, and that's where I kept everything. Well, I could have got it in here, but it's a little cramped for space, and I just said, why not go ahead and put it right in the center. I think it actually looks pretty good. It's real clean looking, matches with the tank stand and everything. The reason I have the old filter still plugged up, I took all the media out of it, placed it into the new filter, added new to that. Like I said, it holds about twice as much media. I left excuse me, I left 1 basket out of the 4 in this one with established media, and I added all new media to it. So right now I've just got it jerry-rigged up to the side of the tank, and I'm going to let it run for at least 2 weeks, possibly a month, because I have a new tank I'm starting. The angel pair, the black one here and the yellow one, that have been trying to spawn weekly have become more aggressive, which I knew it was going to happen eventually. And hey, just gives me another reason to start up another tank. I was originally going to go with a lower light tank, but I said what the hell, and ran across some good deals at Dr. Foster and Smith. They were running a 25% off sale, so I got everything to go ahead and do another high tech tank. I already had a light. The light I'm running is an old Aquatic Life. I've probably had it 6 years or so, but it's got the built-in timer and the 3-channel settings, and it works great. I have no issues with it. I've got a 24-inch version of the same light. Well, as you know, lights are kind of expensive, and I don't have a large amount of room to place another tank. So in order to get the wife to agree to it, I needed to go with something that was only 24 inches wide. I originally thought about a 20-gallon, which would have been alright for a breeding pair of angels, but I looked around and seen what was available, and I found a 40-gallon that was 24 inches wide, 20 inches deep, and 19 tall. Actually, I got that messed up. It's 20 wide, I think 19 deep and 20 tall. I'll show it to you in a later video. But I'm getting ready to start that tank up. So while half the media in this filter is cycling and getting back up to, which right now it should be fine for what's in the tank. There was enough already established media that, you know, it should be able to handle everything in here. But while that one's going, I'm leaving that one hooked up, like I said, for at least 2 weeks, maybe a month, and let all the new media in it get established. I'm also using some of the what do you call it? The bio. Well, hold on, and I'll show you. It's all in this mess somewhere. Nutrifying bacteria to get this going. I had some Dr. Foster and Smith's already, and I purchased some of the CTM version of the same product, and I'm gonna see how it works out. The differences in the new tank, I used CTM Red, fluorite red in this tank originally, and I've got a blue background on it, which I love in this tank, but I wanted to do something different. So the new tank, the 40-gallon, it's a rimless, and the back glass panel is also a black frosted panel. You can, or more tinted. You can still slightly see through it, but it's dark. So I'm gonna try out the Eco Complete black substrate in it, and just do a black on black tank and see how that works out. But yeah, I mean, everything, all this is down. I trimmed everything back last week and got out all the leftover string hair algae. What eventually was going on, to the best I can figure it out, when I swapped over to the LEDs, it just wasn't enough light for the plants to use the amount of fertilizer that I was putting in there. I was putting the recommended amounts of fertilizer, and I would just have algae growing on everything. I went all the way down to using 1/3 of what they recommended, and that would slightly keep the algae at bay. The thing that I wasn't sure about, I had swapped over to a new fertilizer at the same time I had changed out the lights to LED. So all the research I did said those LEDs would be just as good as the T5hos, or maybe slightly better. But yeah, for about 3 months, going on 4 months, I didn't see the same amount of growth. I didn't see the plants flourishing like they normally did. And after I kept fighting with the fertilizers and swapping back and forth trying to figure that out, I finally realized the lights were the problem. So I changed them out about, I think 2 weeks ago now, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I mean, look, everything's getting beautiful colors on everything. And I mean, this is a dirty tank. This is a week-old tank. So everything needs to be trimmed and cleaned. And my new tank, what I'm doing, everything looks really packed in here. Reason being, I've been keeping some of my clippings and replanting them, and I'm going to end up using those in the newer tank. Hopefully I'll have it, like I said, 2 weeks to a month up and running, and at least have it planted and going. I'll probably wait a month before I put the angels in there, even though I'm using the nutrifying bacteria, and the Eco Complete already has bacteria in the substrate also. I just don't want to take a chance. Don't want to lose these babies right here. Don't get me wrong, I love angels. I think they're the most beautiful fish out there, in my opinion. But they do start getting aggressive when they start laying eggs. And I don't want them killing everybody else in the tank. So they're getting a tank to themselves. Probably the only thing I'll put in there with them is some autos and maybe one of the bristlenose plecos. I've got 2 in here. There's a little girl right there. Look at that green spot algae. I'm sorry, guys. I might should have filmed this after I cleaned. My S. repens has really took off, and I've actually started taking some of the trimmings and replanting in other areas. So eventually I would like it to where you can't see any of the substrate. I want S. repens all across there. Just grow it all out. Oh, and with the new canister filter, it has a higher flow rate. That particular Eheim is supposed to be able to do all the way up to a 300-gallon tank, which I know Eheim says they do more than what they actually do, but I mean, it should turn the water over in this tank 4 times per hour at full rate. So I mean, that ought to be plenty of filtration. I ended up adding, you can see the old spray bar compared to the new being the clearer ones, the old being the more frosted looking ones. I wanted to get, since I'm using the Up Aqua, let's see if I can get a shot of it. Since I'm using the Up Aqua atomizer to add CO2 to my tank, I wanted to get that spray bar all the way across the tank if I could, just so that I'm getting good distribution of the CO2. So what I did originally, I had 4 of the tubes with the actual holes in it, the actual spray bar tubes. I went to 6 of them, and I added some extenders in there that don't have holes, so I could keep my flow rate up, keeping everything circulated. So I've got 2 with holes, 1 without, 2 with holes, 1 without, 2 more with holes, and that gives me a pretty good spread across the tank. And this unit also has 2 intake tubes. Originally I just had 1 intake tube on this side, and now I've got 1 on both sides, so that should keep the water moving and take care of a lot more of the detritus and get the bad stuff sucked up into the canister filter and out of the water. Hopefully this will take care of a few of the algae issues. I think I'm back on the road to getting this tank back like I want it. It's definitely looking a hell of a lot better than what it had been looking. And I'm going to get out of here so I can get to cleaning. Alright guys, y'all have a great Sunday.